Hello, everybody. What's up, Ben?
Man, it's Friday, buddy.
I love
It's Friday.
Friday.
And we're in the office, and it's office hours.
You know what? I have a new mug today.
Well, let me see. What does it
Oh,
say?
here for good.
I like that, man. It matches your shirt too. I feel like you did a little something.
Coffee cup coordination.
Also, I like the softer light today. Like you're not as it's warmer. I guess you're warmer today.
I changed it up. Guess what color it is back there?
I mean, it looks pretty warm. It's pretty yellow. I don't know.
This is the power of lighting. It's actually light blue.
Really?
Yeah, but with that bright light back there, it kind of casts a shadow over it, so it just makes everything pop a little bit without overpowering the color.
Damn, dude, you must be a video professional.
Oh yeah.
Well, look, I don't. This week's been we alluded to how crazy things are getting over the next couple of weeks, and this was like the kickoff to that. So, yeah, man. So this week was nuts, and so I don't know that we like super prepped for this, but there is some important things that happened this week, and there's some things I want to talk about that I think some things that kind of came up this week. But first,
yeah,
I want to hear about your week. I want to hear about what you did. I want to hear about what's going on in Houston. I want to hear about things that are jamming down there, and some people you talked to, some things you did, because I feel like you did a couple of things this week.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I might need to bring up my Keep notes, which is how I keep track of my calendar.
That's how we do it, guys. We use Google Keep because we're all being accountable to each other. So,
but for sure, the first thing that I can think of is today I had a meeting with this group that I'm part of. I'm a founding member of, called Houston Marketing Association.
Nice.
And we are planning on an event. We're actually going to put on an event October 19th.
Cool.
And we're going to talk about, each of us has a different area of expertise. And so obviously mine is going to be video creation, video content.
Yeah.
We're going to speak about it in regards to how it intersects with AI, how you can become more efficient.
I mean, great.
Yeah.
So that's what we're all talking about these days.
Yeah. So
get that info out there for people.
Yeah. That's going to be October 19th. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I talked with someone that's pretty cool. He is a fitness influencer, and he is getting into mental health care and integrating that with video. And so we were kind of chatting earlier this week about how that's going to work and how we could possibly support him. I was pretty excited about that because the idea with the organization he's partnering with, which is like, it's very confusing, but essentially people will be able to create chatbots of themselves. And so when you need somebody 24/7, you can actually, if you don't have a friend to talk to, you can talk to your chatbot. Or consequently, if you have a really good friend who's created a chatbot, you can talk to theirs.
To their chatbot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool.
That's
also a little scary.
It is a little scary. Also, do you use any of that stuff? Like, do you feel weird when you're doing that? Because I've used some of the chatbot stuff, and I want to talk a little bit today about some of the like deep research stuff that Gemini has, which I think is really cool. But like, I always, anytime I'm engaging online with like a company or a group, or even if it's a sales thing, I feel kind of weird about the chatbot thing. But maybe I'm just old. I don't know. Does it bother you at all? Does it feel like inauthentic and kind of creepy?
I like the chatbot more than the person overseas that has a hard time understanding you. Okay. I'll say that. And I also don't feel that creeped out by it. I don't know. Yeah. I guess if I was to give it, I feel like so often it's logistical information you're dealing with. But if you were dealing with more personal information, I might feel a little weird. But I don't know. Actually,
I might feel less weird about that because it's like almost no judgment at that point. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. That's kind of super cool.
People have and I've done this, you like start to ask your different, whatever you do for AI, chat GPT, Gemini, Claude,
Grok, whatever.
Yeah. And you start asking it questions, and very quickly it can get kind of personal.
Sure.
And so I don't know. Yeah, maybe I would. We'll see. This is where the world's going, though.
No, I know. And especially for stuff like this. And it's crazy to see like every day there's another headline about another company cutting heads because AI can do the stuff and it's changed up. But that's
Wait,
awesome.
can I also talk about the most interesting thing I listened to this week?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a podcast called What's Your Problem by Jacob Goldstein. And he's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing journalist. He's been creating stories since I can remember him doing it about the financial crisis in 2008
Okay.
on Planet Money.
Okay.
But he did an interview with one of the head roboticists at Amazon. And they have two different robotics lines that they're developing at the same time at Amazon. And one is for a robot perfected world. And so, for example, they have a
Oh.
warehouse in Louisiana that's designed for human robot collaboration. And
Okay.
but it's set up for like robot first.
Mm-hmm.
And so the humans are there as like the quarterbacks and the mechanics.
Yeah.
And then in a couple of other places in the US, they have a humans first, but robots that are helping humans do jobs. Like they've extended the shelving where they put stuff, and they have robots that'll put it on the top shelf.
I can't believe you're bringing this up organically because this is very timely about what I want to talk about today. And
Okay.
because basically what you're talking about is like, how do you design systems around all this new technology we have? And is it the technology first or is it the person first? And
Yes.
there are specific instances where it's the technology first. And we'll talk a little bit about some of that stuff. So that's crazy. I'd love to hear that because it's funny that everybody's kind of thinking along the same lines about this stuff.
Yeah. And the head engineer had like all these funny ways that like instead of designing things like they went more robot for these
Mm.
like robotic helpers
Mm-hmm,
where
mm-hmm.
instead of like hands it's like pincher like sort of like
Mm.
hand-esque units but no fingers, conveyor belts like where the fingers would be to manipulate things,
Whoa.
and then like sort of like a projectile Wolverine-esque spatula that pops out of the hand so that they can like very calmly move the objects on the shelf without knocking them over.
Yeah, and it's so much easier for them to murder their creators now
Yeah.
with those spatula knives that they've created to chop their heads off with. So and the machines take over.
Yeah.
Well, look,
All right.
that's awesome. So we Austin in just in general this week we've had some travel. We have a crew in New Orleans right now finishing up a 2-day shoot there, they've been having a great time. I think they're done at 3 today, but they're going to stay the night. So hopefully they'll get a little respite and get to
Yeah,
hang
they're gonna
out in
stay the
NOLA.
night.
Yeah, they're going to stay the night for sure. We had a conference here in Austin earlier this week that was a distracted driving conference for the state of Texas that was pretty cool.
Okay.
That we had some guys on the ground for that they recorded for distribution. They didn't live stream it. And actually there were some sessions that couldn't even be recorded because they were I don't know like what the confidentiality was, but that'll be distributed out, which was pretty neat. We had 2 virtual events we just wrapped. Actually, I think Brown's about to get off one right here that we did today. And then
Okay.
yesterday we had a really interesting podcast series that shot in the studio next door to my office. That was it was like a legal CLE that had to do with like ethics and advertising.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was interesting hearing him talk about that because you see the commercials all the time, but there's like all these rules about how they have to be reenactments, and you have to say that the people, like you can't use actual people. You have to say that they're like paid spokespersons, and like it's really crazy how
Huh.
deep that can get and how they can skirt some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really
So
cool. But
all of those laws are like Texas laws, or are
I
those
guess, yeah. I mean, I'll have to
okay?
go back and watch a little bit more intently, but it was just interesting to hear him talk about how they're able to kind of skirt, like you're not supposed to be able to advertise, like generally speaking, like advertise yourself, but they're able to do it because they're saying that these people are spokesmen or spokespeople it's very
Okay.
bizarre. And there's a couple of big players in the space, right? You don't see every lawyer doing it. You see who's the guy? Thomas J. Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lorenz and Lorenz. Oh, you do know Betty Blackwell? Anybody from Austin will remember that one.
What about the hammer?
The Hammer. Is that Mike? Yeah.
That's in Houston.
Houston, y'all got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because every time I drive down,
Push and Win. Those
yeah,
are my
Push.
favorite.
Those guys are the best, dude.
Yeah.
But always on my way to Galveston, I'll see there's like 10,000 lawyer billboards, from Austin to Galveston.
There's
But
one right now that makes me. It's this guy Brian White,
yeah,
and his billboard. He has like a huge forehead.
nice.
He's a very handsome man.
Yeah,
Except in this one photo, and he looks kind of like Megamind. And instead
it's
of
like
saying
they've
"Get
all
Brian White," it says "Get Brain White."
they've taken that. What was that? It was "I Love You, Man." He bought all the billboards for him so he could be a good lawyer or a good real estate agent. They've taken that to heart.
Yeah.
But there was a conversation that came up yesterday in that, and it was I was offering these gentlemen who these are veterans of the trade, shall we say. They've been around a while. I was offering them an alcoholic libation halfway through. And they were like, "Oh, we better not do that, man. We'll pass out. We'll fall asleep." And I thought about equating that to just like kind of, for me, it was like a knowing your audience and knowing who you're talking to just in general. We've had younger people in or whatever, and like people will come in and they like expect that there's going to be alcoholic beverages. They expect that they're going to be able to drink and do this, and it's a party. And there's some people that want to come in and just knock it out and get it done. They're all lawyers. They all are speaking on some of the same stuff, but there's like a very different style to doing it.
Yeah.
And it just made me think about, when you're producing content or when you're dealing with clients or whatever else, you really need to know who you're dealing with and like what it is that they want and what turns them on and what turns them off and what helps them work better and what doesn't. And we see that stuff all the time and going from conference to conference because so much of what we do is similar, right?
Yes, exactly. You got to know your audience.
Yeah, but it's like I'm doing a conference. Cool, I'm doing another one. But it's a totally different client with a totally different constituency. And it changes the way that you produce the event.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for businesses too, to take that to heart, or if you're an association or an organization, like a CLE event is very different from some of these state events where people aren't paying to come to, but it's just part of their job. They have to be there, right? They don't have a choice. Like they have to show up. All that stuff is very different in how you produce the content. So to me, it was just a reminder, just them saying that, like, no, we don't do that. I was like, oh yeah, not everybody does things the same way.
I mean, to be fair though, unexpected from lawyers.
It was unexpected, but it reminded me of a story that was really funny. I'll tell it and then we can move on. I was in my probably early 20s and I worked in healthcare. I was in healthcare marketing. And this was before Audion and all that stuff. And I went to they called them in-services. It was an in-service. You would go and like tell people about your healthcare organization and how it could help them. I went to a senior living facility and it was in the summer and I was going to tell these people about home healthcare and how it could help them in the senior living center if they needed it. And if they got hurt, they should call us and we would help them. So I show up with ice cream sandwiches and ice cream cones and all this stuff, right? And they're all excited. And we have this little ice cream social and I'm handing out little stickers and flyers and we're talking. And then everybody sits down, they finish their ice cream and it's time for me to tell them about the business and why they should choose us. I mean, within 10 minutes, they were all asleep because they had eaten ice cream and they fell asleep. And I didn't know my audience. Like, I was like, hey, this is great. Let me give them a treat. And then I'll tell them they all fell asleep.
Should have flipped it, right? Should have done the talk. And
ice cream at the end.
Yeah.
Make them sit through, then eat the ice cream, then go take a nap. So just be careful about how you distribute your content, people, or the treats, the nuggets that you give away. Because it was just such a fail.
Did you learn next time? Did you do the talk and then the
I think I quit shortly thereafter.
Like, I'm done with geriatrics.
This wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It was, that job really helped me learn how to like interact with a wide variety of people and also how to take no for an answer, and not be offended by it. But that world was not for me. You were constantly chasing like Medicare patients because that's really where you made your money because private insurance just wasn't really going to happen. And so you were after these Medicare patients and it just felt, I don't know, man, it felt gross. I didn't like it. So
not for you.
Not for me, buddy. But anyway, let's talk about the era of strategic video because I think this is all the rage. And I think it's a lot of what we talk about. And I think it's some of the things that you were talking about are going to come into play for this. And is
this what we're talking about right here?
I think we should talk about it. I kind of want to post this, but I kind of don't. So
I printed it out. I'm too old school.
Did you? I actually printed it out too because I was reading it earlier. But
look who are the 40-year-old guys.
I know, pushing 50. I kind of want to put this up because I thought it was cool. I was playing around with the deep research feature in Gemini,
Okay.
And I put some stuff together, and it actually was like pretty informative. Now, some of it I feel like is pulling AI generated content. So I think I was telling you this. It's like a snake eating its own tail. It's like, oh, cool. You're just feeding me back the stuff that you wrote. It's like, where does that stop? You
Oh,
know?
my primary source is myself, Benjamin
Yeah, but
Jansen.
it's like obviously these people have generated these articles with that. But
Yeah.
there was some stuff in here that I want to touch on about there was a lot of talk about emotional resonance and about trust. And I think that's something that we speak about often. And I think that this goes back again also to knowing your audience. If you have a specific client base or a specific constituency, you have to know what their expectations are of you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand what they're looking for from someone who provides the goods, services, education, whatever. And you have to present yourself in a way that not only shows that you're an authority in that, but that helps to build that trust. And
Okay.
so often now, because it's so much short form content, because we have so much generative content, because it's such a race to put that content out, it just gets overlooked because we're so quick to just get something out, right? It's like, I've got to have content. I have to put something out.
Yeah.
So you're generating all of this stuff, but really none of it's doing much for you. And I think this is my take on this, and I'd be interested to hear what you think. My take on it is now, because the tools have become so democratized, because there's such easy access to generating content and to editing content, that instead of professionals putting these things together, like you would never, if you were doing like a super brand centric marquee video, you wouldn't just generate a bunch of AI crap, right? But you're okay doing it for a product launch, or you're okay doing it for your weekly post, or you're okay doing it for this. But what
Yeah.
I feel like is happening is that instead of their people bolstering their internal creative teams and building up an internal creative team and utilizing these tools,
Mm-hmm.
or hiring out to professionals, they're using people with other jobs to tack this on and
Oh, yeah,
say, you
for
know,
sure.
hey, now it's your job to also use Canva and generate this content for us. That's also what you have to do now. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, cool, those tools are out there, so let me just do that. And I feel like we're gonna keep going down this. I don't think that it's gonna turn around. I'm very pessimistic about this. So maybe I'm looking to you for a little bit of hope. But I see it with marketing interns. I see it with these younger generations. I see it with this stuff to where it's like not as important to have the professional do it or to put the
Yeah.
time into the creative.
Yeah, so I think that that's probably true in the short term. I'm really curious though in the long term, because I feel like the people who invest in those areas are going to be so much more successful by having an actual professional do it, you know. I think that
Yeah.
or someone who's thoughtful about it. If you
Yeah.
can find that rare person who can handle, you know, one whole different aspect of their job and be creative, then you're probably going to be like, you found the unicorn.
Sure.
But you know, like I think at the end of the day, you have to have people who are thinking about its strategy. And so I do think that like in the long term, if you invest in those people,
Yeah.
even if they're using these tools, but they learn to use them as a tool, not as like the output, like the output machine, like here's my X,
Sure.
give me my Y. Um, you know, then I think you're going to be a lot more successful.
So I'm glad you feel that way, because I really don't. And my concern is that it's such a race for, especially in video production, it's such a race to the bottom for just clicks and views that
Mm-hmm.
we're not carrying that all the way through to conversions or to a long-term investment in what may become a conversion. And so I
Yeah.
don't feel like I see a lot of the strategy there. I feel like it's just, how do I get as many? I mean, go look at a viral video, pick your favorite viral video, find the original creator, go look at the viral video, how many views it has, and then go look at the rest of their videos and see how many views they have.
Yeah.
It's the discrepancy is insane. I don't know that those clickbaity, crazy, whatever things that everybody's chasing. How do we get the most views? How do we get the most views? equates to some kind of long-term viewership or some sort of commitment or trust building that you've done. I feel like it's the slow and steady stuff that does it, but I don't feel like that's what's happening right now. And so it's got me like really down because we're having these conversations. Why did this clip do so well? Why did people want to hear about this?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they watch that one and not this other one that had really good content? Oh, well, because that one had a picture of E.T. on it with a mustache. They loved it. Well, who gives a shit? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it didn't do anything. So I need some hope. I need some hope, Trae.
You need
I
a little
need
hope.
some hope.
I mean, it is true. I have had one viral post in my life. I think I've talked about this, and it had nothing to do with video production. It had everything to do with me complaining about the LinkedIn games. And I think at the end of the day, 250,000 people or something saw that post, maybe more. I don't know.
Crazy.
And it was just because I was like whining about, basically moaning about Vanderbilt always winning these games.
I remember that, but it didn't. See, this is my point exactly. It didn't carry over to any long term.
None.
Yeah, no, like you didn't get some huge following from that. It didn't. So it's like, it's such a confusing landscape for people because they're just chasing this. When really stop chasing that and start generating authentic content that's true to your brand, true to yourself, true to whatever, and play this little game. And who cares if you get 50 views, 100 views, 200 views? Because if out of those 200 views, you convert 1%, you got 2 new people. Do you think out of 250,000 views of people that don't care at all, but it's just a clickbaity thing, you'll get no conversions?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just, to me, it's a weird mind shift.
I wonder too if like the value proposition for LinkedIn for that has got to be kind of scary, because if they go clickbaity like that, then, and I've kind of noticed they're doing it right now. If you see all the video features on there, there's like tabs, like trending topics. Right now, one of them is 5 to 9, and one of them is work-life balance. And you kind of get the same creators posting videos that are very TikTok style, and maybe they were on TikTok or Instagram Shorts, or Reels and YouTube Shorts, but they are pseudo business expert creators, and it sucks. I hate them so much. And they've been pretty negative. I feel like most of the people that see them are not into them because they're like, what is going on here? This isn't what I want to see on LinkedIn.
Yeah. I feel I'm having this like existential crisis that the further that I kind of dive into this stuff and the more that I try to understand about what's happening and what's going on, the more pessimistic I get. And I don't like it. But what it's forcing me to do is come to terms with not caring as much about all that, like not looking immediately after you upload to see what's going on or how. It's like, we have a frame of reference. We have a realm of expertise that I feel very comfortable in. And I'm very comfortable continuing to talk in that space and to share my knowledge. And if a couple of people feel good about that and get something from it and want to hire me, cool, man.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about how do I get 50,000 people to watch this clip or 100,000 people. I want to have a good marketing backstop. I want you to go back and look and go, oh, they've got 50 other videos that are great about this or whatever. You know?
And I guess that's the difference between business to business and business to consumer.
Sure.
Because we're in business to business.
Sure.
And so we want to have long-term relationships, and we want to have,
it's a great point.
Like the growth, that organic growth. But B2C, if you can get clickbait is actually pretty useful.
I mean, great point. That's a great point. And I don't know that I've framed it that way and thought about that because I'm only seeing it from my perspective.
Yeah.
And it just feels daunting where I'm just like, well, great. So what do? I got to take off my shirt and do the next one. And then, I'm sure we'd get huge views, fat bearded man talks about video production. Like they'd love it.
Two middle-aged whiny bearded dudes. Yeah.
It's just like, we'd probably go crazy, but it's like, I don't want to do that. Cause anyway, look,
hey, know what? We're going to create a poll on spot. If you want to see it, you can vote.
Okay. What's the poll guy? I'm not even going to ask.
Should we do our next one shirtless, topless? God, should Ben and Trae get topless?
Tune in to find out.
It'd be great. The great thing about my body hair is it kind of like flows directly from my hair and just kind of wraps around.
That's great. You must have some Eastern European in you like I do. So
that's amazing.
This was something interesting that came up though as I was doing this research thing. It was talking a lot about AR or Yeah, augmented reality, virtual reality,
Yeah.
virtual production. We do a lot of virtual production, but in the sense that we're just bringing people in from multiple locations, that we don't have to be physically present to do it, right? And I love
Yes.
that. Super powerful tool, great for a hybrid experience at an event.
Mm-hmm.
Augmented reality, not a ton of experience with it. I know that there's some LED wall stuff and some cool stuff going on. But like, what happened to all that? Like, you see more of that than I do, but like all the big companies that were touting all the LED stuff, the LED walls, like all this immersive blah blah blah. I don't
Well,
see
and
any of that happening.
the Apple Vision.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Well,
excited about it.
where did it go, man?
All
What's
that
going
money went
on?
into AI.
Okay.
AI killed
Fair
augmented
enough.
reality. And I think that it was like one of those things where it's so the technology that I would need to use it was so bulky that
Yeah.
at the end of the day, people weren't adopting it. So
Look,
it'll probably come back,
I
but
don't
in
know
a
that it'll
different
come
form.
back, but I think what's still useful, and I hope that people can still see, is like we've got a studio here with green screen capabilities. The keying is really great. It looks really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You can build virtual sets and look really cool.
Yeah.
I know that we have some mutual acquaintances that have built a really cool studio in Houston, and they're doing some very cool things with an LED wall
Mm-hmm.
that's really saved their chief officer, or whatever you want to call him, from having to like go multiple locations around campus, and he can shoot in one space. That stuff's super powerful, and I
Yeah.
love that. I love seeing all that. But
Well,
the days of like thinking that like you're gonna, I don't know, man. The
you're
whole
okay.
Mandalorian effect and all that.
Yeah, that was kind of. I mean, I know that people are still using it. I guess that what I was thinking in industrial video applications, it's like the AR stuff where you put on the headset
Yeah,
and you're interacting with the world for training and for to visualize like what a device might look like. And
sure.
I think that is people were super hot on that 2.5 years ago, and
Yeah,
I don't hear anybody even inquire about that anymore.
I don't either. And I do remember. I mean, we're still doing some touchscreen stuff. And actually, I just had a client reach back out to us about a touchscreen interactive thing that we had done for them that they want to bring back and they want to update, which I think can be really powerful just because it helps their salespeople to showcase stuff quickly
Yeah.
without having to go through the computer thing. And we have another client that does a pitch day that does like we built out like a virtual expo for their teams, and they were pretty hot on us doing that again. So that stuff I do like. I guess that's augmented in some way. It's like you're going in and kind of touching. Maybe it's more virtual, but bringing virtual into the real space. It's cool, but I just feel like all this stuff that was just such the rage and was like blowing up has kind of gone by the wayside, and it worries me even more because it's like the Snapchat filters and the TikTok filters and all that stuff. Is all that junk just going to take over? And I'm building this $200,000 studio to keep people out on a green screen when nobody cares because they can do it on their phone.
Possibly.
Don't say that. You're
No, that
supposed
is
to
scary.
rebuff me. It is scary, man. It's like
Yeah.
they just want the user generated content and that's it. So that brings me to the last thing that I wanted to talk about today before we go too long. And that's the personalization of video. Like, how is it? Because I think now we're leaning so hard on the algorithms to feed us what we want to watch. How do you break through that? Like, how do we as a video production company break through somebody's algorithm on their YouTube shorts so that they see the content that we're producing if they're not really, what I mean? If they're watching home improvement videos or they're watching um, monster truck races or something, like how do you stand a chance of breaking through that,
Yeah.
and showing up if the algorithms are feeding people only the things that they think they want to see?
I mean, that's a great question. And so to get into that, I want to talk about work-life balance.
I have no idea where this is going, but I'm along for the ride.
No, I think that you have to incorporate
Just keep
trends.
saying, I got you now. We'll just keep saying random words like that in between.
No,
I'm so dumb.
know,
Damn it. I'm so dumb. Sorry, I got it now.
no, but I really do. I think that you have to incorporate trends into the like valuable content.
Okay.
And so I think that that's the way that people are going to be able to break through, because I think if you have, I mean, that's at least our working thesis right now is that
Okay.
if you build up a content library of valuable information that people can watch, but there are certain things that are on trend to get them to funnel them into your channel or where your repository is, then they can like keep watching and get into it. And but you do have to do something that like allows people to come in through the front door.
So I don't know if you realize what you just did, but you just brought this full circle because this is where we started. And that was very insightful. So you're right. It's about staying true to who you are and grinding it out and doing the content so that all that stuff's there so that when somebody does find you, that you've got that credibility and that trust. But it's okay maybe to take a couple of risks with some of the content and do some on-trend stuff to bring it in, but that can't be all you do. Because if that's all you do, then that's all they're gonna see.
Then you're nothing.
Yeah.
You're a chimera.
Damn, Trae. I don't know, but I hope somebody watched this whole thing from start to finish because that was great.
Besides our moms.
Besides my mom. Honey, you did so good this week.
Yeah, my mom doesn't even watch it.
Really?
Shout out Lee Stanley.
Dang, come on.
Come on, Mom.
Man. Well, look, that was awesome.
Hey, she's too busy.
Well,
she told me that. She's got a lot of plants to watch.
I think that's great, dude. Look, that's what you want your mother to be busy. Trust me. You want your mother to be busy. I'm going through it. That was awesome, man. Well, so look, I'm super excited for the upcoming weeks. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. There's a lot going on in the world of Audion. Yeah. And a lot happening with our clients and a lot of things over the next few weeks that I'm excited to debrief on and kind of talk about. But we've had some really big successes. And I want to get a couple of clients on and I want to kind of pick their brains. And so y'all be looking for that in the coming weeks. Like we're going to get people from a lot of different industries and a lot of different sectors of business to kind of come on and talk about incorporating video and how they're doing it.
Yes.
Because we have a lot to get into with that stuff. So, other than that, what's another like buzzy thing that's happening right now that we can just throw in and see if we can get some views on? I'm not even up on the trends.
Well, let me pull up LinkedIn real fast.
Yeah. Let's just throw out some buzzwords and see like if any of them grab on and then people like, we can get into
we can create small videos about them.
Yeah.
Let's try this out.
Top trending.
I'm gonna whistle. I can't whistle.
I can't either.
Oh gosh, some people have really terrible content online. You don't know who it is, but I'm calling you out.
What are some cool slang terms that kids are using now?
Well, I just saw that cringe. Cringe is cool.
Oh, I thought that was out.
I don't know.
Come on, Trae, you have no riz.
It's true.
I'm just capping you, bro. You're bussing. Maybe some of those will hit.
It's the other way thing about LinkedIn is I can't see what the trending videos are on the computer, but if I go to the app, then I can see them.
Well, let's just say this: trending, viral trending video. That's what this is.
Viral trending.
Anyway, look, we're
hold on.
If you got one.
Okay, so the big one is people are like, here's the big one: my 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. How do you get ready for the day?
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me how. Let's do it.
We went over this last week. Okay, Trae, I'm just going to repeat it because this is what I did last week, and it's so woo-woo and lame that people are going to think I'm dumb. So it's your 5 to 9. All right, man. Mine is getting up early. I get up early. I wake up. First thing I do, hit the floor. I go immediately to my studio. It's music studio. I sit in the music studio with a composition book and I write for 15 minutes. And it's a free-flowing, free-form writing with I have no preconceptions about what I'm going to do. I have no goals. I just write.
Yeah.
As soon as I get done writing, I immediately get some clothes on. I'm usually wearing clothes when I write though, but I'm out of bed. But I put on clothes and I get outside. So whether that's taking the dog for a walk or whatever it is, I immediately get outside and get some movement in so that I'm out in the world. I'm breathing some fresh air. I'm getting some sunlight. I come home and I do a little grounding in the backyard. I know this is silly, and I'm not a bro science dude, but I really enjoy it. I go get my feet in the grass and I do some stretching and then I come in and get ready and go to work. And that's what I do. That's my everyday. I take my daughter to school still, which is really nice. I have one that's in high school and I get to spend some time with her. So that's my morning.
My 5 to 9, get up between 4:45 and 5. I spend 15 minutes kind of stretching, getting out of bed. I go wake up my 14-year-old son, he has water polo practice at 5:45.
Oof.
So he's got to kind of hustle. I make him some breakfast, make myself a coffee, drive him to water polo. Then I'll go to the gym and work out for 45 minutes. And really, I just go to the gym and work out so that I can get in the sauna for 10 minutes. That's like the
Oh, the
highlight.
yeah, no
Um,
question.
Come back. I also journal. So I make another coffee. I journal. I help my 11-year-old daughter get ready for school. And we both get dressed. I take her to school, and then I come into the office. So I'm
Yeah.
here about 9:00.
I feel like we're very bro sciencey. We should probably start a bro science thing because I feel like that's the journaling. I talk about that to other people, and I don't know a ton of people that do it. But for me, it's a huge thing just to get my kind of brain moving in the morning and like words kind of moving.
Yeah.
I find that it really helps me versus just kind of waking up and coming in and trying to like figure it out.
I would say we're both very word centric, though.
Yeah. That means we both talk too much, but okay. Anyway, look, have an awesome weekend. I feel like my Thai food just got here, so it's time to go eat lunch.
It's Thai time.
Thai
Thai
time.
time.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.